Please help me welcome Dr. Virgie Brewster Pradia.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, I am the third of 11 children. My mother had 6 boys and 5 girls, and I'm the third. So I was near the top of the siblings ladder. My parents didn't know how to read or write. They did not have a formal education. And when I went to school, I went into a building that had 2 rooms. In one room, it was the teacher. She taught the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. And the other room was the principal, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Now, when it was time for us to go to the 7th grade, we couldn't go right down the street to school because our skin was black. So we were bused to Abbeville, Louisiana to go to school. And when I was there, I was interested in dance. But prior to going to the school, I would always look at the Ed Sullivan Show. How many of you remember the Ed Sullivan Show? And they would always have some acrobatics. I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I just know that they were moving their body in ways that I didn't think it was possible. So I decided to try it just to convince myself this was possible. So after I was able to do a lot of the movement, I knew it was possible. It wasn't just something that they put in that was a trick or something like that. So when I went to Abbeville to school, my teacher started an after-school program. And in that after-school program, it was dance. So she asked me to become a member of the club. I told her I couldn't because my parents did not have transportation to pick me up afterwards. So what she did, she went into our home and she asked my mother if I could stay after school and I could stay at her home during the time that we had to stay. And she also told my mother, and I noticed you have so many children, so I'll pay for whatever she needs, but don't tell the other children. So my mother agreed. So soon I was staying more with them than I was staying at our home. And she started calling me her play daughter. Then I went on to high school. I joined the cheerleader. I was a drill team leader. I got in the band. I played the flute. And then my flute broke and I couldn't do that anymore. So I joined as a majorette. That's what I wanted to do at first. But he had told me I was too skinny. But after he saw that I became a lead in majorette, he invited me to come and be a part of the band. So when I was in high school, I was thinking I'd love to teach like my teacher. But then as I got close to graduating, I said to myself, college is not for me. I'm not smart enough. I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college. So when I graduated from high school, I worked in the shrimp factory at Delcom. I worked in homes, cleaning homes. And then one day, my basketball coach brother came to our home. He lived in Houston. And he asked my mother, could I go in Houston to be a live-in babysitter? So I was a live-in babysitter in Houston for a year. Then when I came back, I became a live-in babysitter for his sister. And it was then that I heard somebody say that one of my classmates was in his 2nd year in college. And I said, wow, if he can go to college, I know I'm smart enough because I am smarter than he is. And when I changed that mindset, I started looking for ways of going to college, and I ran across a national defense loan. I filled it out, and I got accepted. They got the loan, and I didn't know where to go to college, whatever. But the lady that I was working with was I graduated from Grambling, so was my basketball coach. So they filled out the form for me to go to Grambling. So I ended up in Grambling, and I said, wow, I'm here. I'm smart enough to go to Grambling. And one thing I didn't realize, when I started writing this book, my brother told me that they didn't know what would happen to them if I had not gone to college. And he told me that I was his hero. So now I'm at the top because my siblings, brother and sister ahead of me, they're both deceased.
Excellent job, Dr. Burgess. Wow.